times real mermaid sightings were reported. 2nd century Gaul. Mermaid sightings weren't exactly something that started recently. There have been several claims that go as far back as the 2nd century AD. The Syrian writer Lucian has mentioned the possible existence of these mermaids in his Natural History 9.4.9-11. Pliny the Elder has mentioned and even describes numerous sightings of mermaids just off the coast of Gaul. Mermaid corpses were reportedly found frequently washed up on shore with their bodies covered in scales. He also states that the governor of Gaul wrote a letter to Emperor Augustus to inform him about these unusual creatures. 18th century Blackbeard's logbook. One of the most famous and easily feared pirates in history has mentioned the slight possibility of mermaids in his logbook. He had instructed his crew, on multiple voyages, to stay away from certain charted waters that he would call enchanted. This was because of the mermaids in these areas that Blackbeard and his crew members had reportedly seen. 1493 Hispaniola. The infamous explorer, Christopher Columbus, claimed to have spotted 3 mermaids or sirens just off the coast of Hispaniola back in 1493. He had said that, unlike popular folklore, these creatures weren't as beautiful as they were always portrayed due to several masculine features on their faces. Historians later debunked them as possible sightings of manatees. But, till today, nobody really knows what Columbus really saw. 1943 K Islands. Japanese soldiers who had been stationed on the K Islands in Indonesia had multiple encounters with mermaids back in 1943. The villagers would call these creatures orang ikan, as in Malay, orang means human, and ikan means fish. The soldiers had incredibly interesting stories to share about these creatures while on patrol. Sergeant Taro Hariba, who was stationed on the K Islands at the time, instructed the village chief to instantly inform him if any orang ikan were captured. Finally, the day arrived when Sergeant Hariba set his sights on what he described as being roughly 4 foot 9 inches tall, with pinkish skin and a human-looking face and limbs, spikes along with its head, and a mouth shaped like a cup. Sergeant Hariba even tried to get the scientific community to validate the sightings, but nothing ever happened. 1967 British Columbia, Canada. A group of tourists riding a ferry in Canada had reported this sighting. They had claimed to see a mermaid with luscious silvery blonde hair. She was apparently eating a salmon and seemed to enjoy the waves that were just crashing over her tail. The local city had offered an impressive $25,000 reward for the mermaid, but no one ever came forward. There were some who had reportedly seen the mermaid and swore she was real, but others thought it was a complete hoax. What do you think? 1998 Kiwi Point, Hawaii. Jeff Leica, a diver who operates the Jack's Diving Locker just off Kiwi Point, once said that he was lucky to be the one to finally prove to the world what people here had known for half a century. He claims that the infamous Kiwi Point mermaid is very real. While diving off the coast, Leica reported being in the water and hearing 10 people in the boat just screaming and pointing. Looking over, Leica swore that he saw a strange woman swimming. He saw her leap into the air and suddenly discovered that the lower half of her body was of a fish. Later on, Leica was taking photos of underwater life and felt the water moving just above him. Looking up, he quickly took a picture of the mermaid for proof. However, no one has actually seen this picture and claimed it to be true. 2009 Israel. In 2009, nearly a dozen people in Kiryat Yam, Israel, had claimed to see a mermaid frolicking in the waves very close to the shore. This was not just a one-time event, as there were several mermaid sightings over the course of only a few months. The Israeli government immediately took notice and even issued a $1 million reward for anyone that would capture real footage of this mermaid. No one has ever turned in any evidence, but people are still reportedly on the lookout even today. 2012 Zimbabwe. Apparently, some mermaids only want to be left alone. In 2012, workers were busy constructing a dam in Zimbabwe. However, a supposed pesky mermaid spooked the workers, and they absolutely refused to finish the project. The Water Resources Minister Sam Sipepuankormore then told the Senate committee that the village chiefs would perform rituals to get rid of this mermaid. But the workers still refused to ever go back. Eventually, foreign workers were flown in to finish the project, but to their dismay, these workers also had the same experience. They also refused to finish this project, and to this day, the dam remains unfinished.